This bow tuning tip is brought to you by Winchester Archery's Black Horse, Archer Extreme, Warrior Tough, Bow Grip Bow Vices. Get a grip. Hey everybody. Well, I'm finally going to do the series that everybody's asked for. Over the past few years, you guys have seen me tie the peep sights, tie the D-loops, how to adjust your poundage, how to install various amounts of drop-away arrow rests and static rests. Well, today I'm going to start a series, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all that together. We're going to go from a brand spanking new bow, right out of the box, all the way through all the processes that it takes in order to get that bow set up, and then even going out and shooting it, sighting the bow in, and field tuning it, all the way down to the broadheads. We're going to do every single step. So it's going to be several videos in this series. And if you guys want to find all those videos, what I'm going to do is, as the videos are produced and completed, edited and everything, I'm going to be putting them on the channel, my YouTube channel, and they're going to be in one of my playlists. So they're going to be in there in order, all the way through one, all the way to whatever it ends up being. I'm not sure how many videos we're going to end up having, but we're going to have several of them covering the basic steps of installation of all the accessories, like I said before, all the way through the tuning process to completely done. Okay, as you guys seen in the opening credits, we have some sponsors for this. We have Winchester Archery. They were gracious enough to give us a 2014 Black Horse bow. I'm excited about that. That's going to be my own personal bow, and we're going to use that this year. Archer Extreme was gracious enough to give us everything else that we needed. I mean, they gave us the sights, the arrow rest, which is a great thing. I'm excited about that. I'm glad that that's the first video we're going to do. I've got the quiver that they have. It's called the Helix. It's a nice quiver, and I've got a stabilizer. And I haven't really used that many stabilizers over the years. This one here is pretty cool because it's not real heavy, and it's got some great vibration dampening. We'll cover all that in the video when we get to it. But for today, we're going to go right out of the box. We're going to cover the basic things that we need to cover and go over when you first get your bow. I mean, I know a lot of guys out there do their own bow setups, or they're going to start doing their own bow setups. They want to. They may not know where to begin. So we're going to go right out of the box with this brand new bow line. It's still in the box just the way it came, and we're going to go all the way through the processes of what you need to do and what you need to look out for. All right, so let's just pull this puppy out of the box. And I know what you're thinking. You see me pull it out of the box now, and you see that it has a bow case. Well, Winchester bows come with a bow case. It's pretty nice. It's embroidered. It's got some pockets here for accessories. A bow or arrow box can be put in this part of it, and it's a great bow case. You know, I like a soft case, especially when I'm truck traveling, just somewhere local around the house. It's great. But inside you're going to find the bow, and if you guys haven't seen the Black Horse, it's a pretty sleek looking bow. It's a nice bow. There's a couple of reviews out there on YouTube you guys can check out. You know, I'm not going to do a review. We're going to do a setup. It's a great bow. It's black. You know me, my last 3 bows have been black. That's, to me, black's the new camo. But, you know, when you first get a brand new bow like this, especially if you order it offline, it's a great idea to go ahead and open the bow up, the box up, take it out, and you want to go ahead and just check everything out. Make sure that your carrier didn't damage the bow, you know. And I like to go over, feel the limbs. You know, you're trying to feel around for some splinters and stuff like that. Generally, you'll know if the bow's okay by the condition of the box. If you get a box that's beat all to heck, you probably need to check it. My box was in good shape, but I still like to go ahead and check the bow out. And everything looks good. The cables are all on the roller where they need to be. They're still on the cams. Everything's good. It looks fine, looks dandy. Okay, one of the other things that I want to talk about we're going to do is I'm going to be setting this bow up here at the house. It's my home shop, and I'm going to be using some of the tools that I sell. I'm going to be using the actual certified Bow Pro kit. I'm going to be using all those tools. I'm not going to use anything else. I'm going to show you guys the function of those tools as we install the accessories on the bow. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to cover about the bow before we get into the installation is you're going to get it. It's going to have a warranty card with it. And now, with Winchester bows, I know for sure, and it's probably the same thing with all the other bow companies, if you do not fill out this registration card and send it back in, then your bow is not under warranty until that happens, okay? Because basically what they're thinking is the bow's still hanging on a hook somewhere in a shop trying to be sold. Okay, so in order to activate your warranty, you really need to send that in. And these bows have a lifetime warranty to the original owner. So, you know, it doesn't cost you anything but a stamp. Send that in, get that taken care of, and then you're covered if something ever happens to the bow. Okay, the first thing that every brand new bow should have installed on it is going to be the arrow rest. And the reason that is because the arrow rest is the pivoting point of everything about the bow. That is the center point. Where that arrow sits on that rest is the center of this bow. X and Y. I mean, straight up. So that is going to be the first thing that you always want to install, or always have installed on your bow. I mean, I know a lot of guys go to shops, and shops, you know, they're running in there and they're trying to be fast. And yeah, you can always jump around and, you know, do your sights, do this, do that. I like to start with the basics. And I mean, I take my time when I set up my bow because I want it to be right. And when I get out on the range here in a little while shooting this bow, I want it to be a lot simpler, a lot quicker for me to go through it and not have to struggle. You know, it's all a process. There's a line that you have to follow, I guess you want to say. You know, you go through this process of setting this up, and you know, you want it to be right, but you don't want to have to go back and take something apart because you jumped ahead a step, basically. You know, we want to follow these steps as a guideline. Okay, now the Recon arrow rest comes with a football to secure the pull cable to the bus cable. It's the downward moving bus cable, like all drop away arrow rests. It's the downward moving bus cable. One of the things that it also has that it's kind of unique to it is it has a block that goes in to the front of the rest that has a couple of little knobs that stick out on the side of it there, and has a little keyway. And that's going to install on the inside of the arrow, or the arrow rest bracket here. This actually goes against the riser. And all you have to do is, there's a couple little slots right here, is stick those two little knobs that stick out into those slots like so, and it'll snap into place. And then you want to slide it back towards the housing so that little keyway, half moon shaped peg, goes right into there. Okay, and now what that's going to do is that's going to give you your arrow rest the proper positioning, so that way when the arrow rest is down, it's going to be down horizontal, completely horizontal. It's not going to be the whole entire arrow rest is kicked up like that, or kicked down like that. Okay, it's going to allow it to line up on the back of the riser shelf. Okay, so you want to be sure you put that in first. Now on a Hoyt bow, you don't need to use it, but like Matthews Bow Tech, we're going to use it on the Winchester. Any of those bows, it'll mount up like that. Okay, this bow's never had any accessories installed on it, so you know, it's all brand new. Everything's dry. All the holes and stuff like that, they probably still have a little paint in it. Okay, one of the things that I like to do when I'm installing all the accessories on a bow for the very first time, a person comes to my shop and gets a brand new bow, gets all the stuff put on it, I always put a little wax on the threads of my bolts. And if you've never had a sight that's been on your bow for a couple years and you tried to take it off and it's rounded out the Allen head because of the fact that the bolt is seized up, and I'm Mr. Butterfingers today, but if the bolt is seized up, it's because of the fact that when steel and aluminum come in contact with each other, there's a chemical reaction in that. I'm not a physicist or whatever that tells you about this kind of stuff, but I know that it basically will make the aluminum and the metal, the steel will corrode when they come in contact with each other. So we're going to put a little wax on there. It does two things too. It helps end up keeping these threads tight, and it's going to allow you, and if you decide to change the rest or change the sights or just move things around or whatever, it's going to allow you to be able to take that bolt out again. Like I said, I'm Butterfingers today. And you can take the bolt out again and not have to worry about it seizing up and end up splitting and stuff. So you just basically, let's turn this thing around. And turn it around this way so you can see what we're doing. And you don't have to worry about right now getting the bow level because of that little block that's on there, which is pretty great. All right, you just basically put it on there and you go ahead and start your threads by hand. Always start any threads when you're doing this by hand, because sometimes you're dealing with fine threads and you definitely don't want the threads to cross thread in this aluminum. You know, it can happen. So basically what we're going to do is we got it up there like so. You want to press. It's not completely super duper tight right now. I just got it finger tight. Now your rest will still slide forward and backward like that. Okay, you want to slide it all the way forward to where that positioning block is actually hitting your riser. Now that goes ahead, and when you do that, it gets you the built-in angle of 8 degrees is what you got to have right there, and it gets that rest to where it's going to lay perfectly parallel with the riser shelf. It's not going to come down and hit it. It's not going to be sticking up a little bit and hit your fletchings. It's not going to be jacked up in the back so your fletchings hit it. I mean, you know, that's a crucial point. With a lot of arrow rests, they have that difficult problem of getting it all set up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hold it in there, and I'm just going to snug it just a little bit yet because I want to turn it around here and show you what I'm talking about. We got this thing positioned there so you can see. Now to get a close-up of this, you're going to see that it's perfectly flat. It's not jacked up in the back, and it's not sitting up like this because of that. It's actually there. It's down all the way like it should be. Okay, that's the great thing about that block. I mean, nobody else has that block. That makes it handy dandy, foolproof pretty much. We got it on there like we want it. Go ahead now and just sock it down a little bit. Just put a little tension on there, and boom. Now that wax is going to help it really bite. Now on the front of it, there's a little Allen wrench, another little Allen screw there. That's an offset screw. Basically, what that does is that keeps the arrow rest from moving. Okay, it's going to keep the arrow rest from vibrating loose. It actually acts as a little pinch point. And so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to run that in so that it gets a grip. And you want to run it in, and it'll run in there a little piece, and then you feel it touch. And you don't want to dig in real deep because it can mar your finish. Just give it a little like that, just a little dee, nothing much. You don't want to Hercules it there and break it off, or scratch up your riser. Okay, now we got the arrow rest mounted on there. Now you're going to notice when I pull the cord, the arrow rest doesn't move up. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Whenever you use this recon, you've got to actually set it up with your arrow on there, and then if you want it to fall, you just simply do this, push it forward, and it'll drop. It won't drop until you shoot, so you can draw your bow and then let go, and it's going to stay up. If you draw your bow, shoot it, it'll drop like so. That's the same, basically what I did. I just recreated that shot. Now you want to go about 3 inches, approximately 3 inches from the bottom of the housing to the downward moving bus cable. That's where you want to start at. I got me some B50, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie it 1/2 hitch knot like so. Okay, starting out, and I'm going to put both of those, the bus cable and the pull cord, in this knot. Okay, and I'm going to get it like so. Now I'm going to double check myself to make sure that I got the 3 inches. I don't want to be any closer than that. See it come a little, well, that's about right. Go down a little bit. Okay, I got that. What you want to do is go ahead and pull all of your pull cord. I'll tell you what, go ahead and do one more 1/2 hitch on the opposite side of that super knot. If you guys want to know what the super knot looks like, or learn how to tie one, you can go over there to the channel on YouTube and you can find the Know Your Knot video. It'll have all kinds of basic knots on there. But go ahead and pull your pull cord all the way up. I'm going to leave about 3/4 of an inch of that there so I can tie that over. And then I'm just going to continue to tie this super knot on each side of there. People ask me about don't I use footballs, and I tell you this, my theory on a football, straight up, is I've seen footballs slip. I've never seen my super knot slip. Just don't happen. I mean, that thing's like a noose, man. It ain't coming loose. Okay, now that we got that done, we're gonna move over to installing the D-loop. We're gonna center shot this thing. We're gonna get everything adjusted, and we're gonna do all that before we ever adjust our timing on our rest, because you want to have all that stuff done. Now, when you go to shoot this is just going to be a bench tune. When you go to get this tuned in the field, you're going to be able to make small adjustments because that's all it's going to be needed. But right now, we're going to get all this stuff set so you don't have to make large adjustments out in the field, and it's going to affect your timing if you have to make a lot of adjustments. So we're going to go ahead and set the arrow rest up like so. You guys can see that. Got the arrow rest full upright. Now, the Black Horse comes with a D-loop on it, which is great. You don't have to tie the D-loop. But you know, being me and who I am, I don't like things so easy. So we're going to change the D-loop out. We're not going to do it right this second. We're going to go ahead and get everything lined up. Okay. Okay, now, a great thing that comes with the Black Horse is it has a center shot key, which is pretty cool. And you can see that thing is made like this. It's kind of cool looking on that side. This thing is made so that you can get your center shot of your arrow rest perfect. It fits right in that riser like that. I mean, if you're looking at the bow like so, you fit it in there just like that. It'll fit over the top of your guard, and then your arrow will lay right in there, okay? And what that does is it gives you your height and your center shot. So it sets everything up to where it's pretty much foolproof. You're going to get perfect clearance when you shoot this right out of the bat. Okay, now if you notice by looking at that, I'm going to try not to shoot the camera, that I'm touching just a little bit on the right hand side, which is fine. We're just going to make the adjustment with the arrow rest. On the back of that arrow rest, there's adjustments to where you can go left and right and up and down. Right there, we might need to go just a tad bit down. We need to go a little bit over to the left, which is not a problem. You basically just break that top bolt loose. Get the right size Allen wrench, Kenny. I've been doing that a lot today. You notice that? Get the right size Allen wrench. You can break that loose. You're gonna let it, and then I basically do it like this, so that when you got a little bit of slop, a little bit of movement on both sides, it's not 100% tight. There, okay. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna snug that one down because that gets us our perfect center shot. There again, this is another one of those tools that makes things real handy. You can slide this puppy on, and you're gonna see that you have perfect clearance. Put that thing in your bow pack that when you're going to a 3D shoot, or if you're going hunting or whatever you're going to do, put that thing in there, and you can always double check before you even start, so you're not going to have that heartbreaking moment of missing or making a bad shot on a deer or something. You can pull it out and go, okay, center shot's still set. It's real simple. It's got a little hole in it. It comes with a keychain thing. Just put it on your keychain. Okay, now that gets us our left to right. Let me check it again. As far as our elevation goes, I'm going to drop it down a little bit, and then just break the bolt loose on the side, and the arrow rest will come down. Okay, now that went way down, so if I take the center shot away, you can see that it won't fit under there. Okay, you want to pull it up, and then you want to be able to bring it up to about right there, and then you just hold your rest and snug it back down. Okay, now we got that puppy set. Now we got it center shot set, we got the height set, everything's hunky-dory. Getting excited now because we're getting really close to being able to shoot the bow. Okay, and now like I said, now the D-loop came pre-tied. It was already on the bow. I did not have to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set the timing on this arrow rest. Okay, now this is where it gets a little technical. It's really simple though. People freak out when they hear you talk about arrow timing. They're like, wait a minute. Arrow timing? What are you talking about? My bow's fast. Yeah. What I'm talking about is the time that the arrow travels across the rest with the rest up before the arrow rest drops, okay? That's your arrow travel. And basically what that does is it allows your arrow rest to keep the arrow up longer so that the arrow travels faster or flatter out of the bow. Or if it drops too fast, your arrow's going to come out and kind of want to dip down. You've seen the videos with the rest rocket and how it works. Okay, so with the Titanium Recon, it's real simple to do. This thing is like the easiest thing to time that there ever was. I mean, you don't have to time with a knot anymore. You know how I did on some of those other videos with you had to take the knot and tie a little bit and then pull it and then make your adjustments, and that was a pain. They've simplified it, which makes me happy camper. It's going to make my job easier. It's going to make your job easier. It's going to make everything more accurate, more precise when we come to getting everything set up. I'd say taking the arrow rest, taking time and setting up an arrow rest like this, and I know this video is kind of getting long, but the thing is it's a crucial point. It's like the pivoting point of everything. Your sights can be off. Your arrow rest has to be on, because if it's not on here, you're never going to get accurate. You know, your arrow's going to be sitting sideways, going to be sitting too high, too low, whatever. You're not going to get accuracy. So this is where you need to take your time and do it right. That's why I say let's tie this in. Don't use the football. You can, like I said, use the football if you want. If you like football, a lot of guys say footballs is a poop. I love them. I don't care. Use the football. I tie them. It's just my preference. In order to set this, it's real simple. You simply, right here on the side of the arrow rest, there's a little Allen screw. Back it out a little bit. You want the cord to be able to slide, okay, like so. You want to go leave about, you know, that much of your cord sticking out, all right? Now you want it to go to slide with some resistance, okay? You don't want it to just slide through there all by itself real easy. You want it to have a little bit of resistance. You want it to actually pull, okay? So you want to just snug it down some and then adjust it to where it'll actually slide. Yeah, see, now that's pretty, maybe a little bit more tension than that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, now that's got some more tension to it. It's going to stay in one spot. I mean, this is just like doing the knot, but it's up here. And the great thing about it is it's adjustable now. You're not permanently tied here. You've got that Allen screw you can loosen to adjust this timing, which is a great concept. It's going to make setting up arrow rest a whole lot easier. Trust me, you're going to see that. So all we got to do now is we're going to draw the bow back, and it's automatically going to time itself, which is the beautiful thing. It doesn't make a difference if you have this up or down. Go ahead and just cock it up, just for the sake of cocking it up. All right, let's draw this puppy. Okay, it's real easy. You just, I'm not going to use the rest. I'm not going to use my release right now. Okay, I'm not going to use my release. I'm just going to use my hand. I'm just going to draw it back all the way till it stops. You're going to see your cord slide through this block, and then you're going to let it down. You don't want to let go. Let it down, because letting go is what, guys? It's called dry firing. If you dry fire, you're going to need another new bow. Okay, so let's don't dry fire. We're just going to let down. If you do this with a release, you can. I'm going to tell you straight up what you need to do is you need to put some type of an arrow on there. I use a measuring arrow if we're going to be using it. I mean, in my shop, when I'm doing this for a customer, we're saving time. So I'm going to take the arrow length as he's doing this. He's going to draw the bow back, check his draw length. The arrow rest is going to time. I'm going to get his arrow length he can let down. It's going to just save time and extra draws. But we're going to do it today with just my hands. We're going to draw the bow back, just like so. And you're going to watch this thing slide through there. This cord's going to slide right through the block. Okay, I just hit the full draw, the back wall, which is dead nuts. You're going to let it down just like so. Okay, now, don't move it. Leave it just where it's at. Put it back in your vise. And you want to tighten down that Allen screw to hold that cord in its place. Okay, right here is your block. And there's the Allen screw, that's the offset Allen screw. Basically what you want to do is you're going to draw that in. You're going to tighten that in to where it's smashing through there. And it sounds worse than it is, okay? It's not like I'm breaking, I'm putting a lot of torque on it. It's going to go in, and then you want to double check and make sure your cord will not move, okay? And you've got this extra left. You know, easiest thing to do with that extra is just take it and just trim it off. And I leave just a little bit there, okay? You're good to go. Now, okay, it's me, okay? We can't just leave it like that, guys. You got to burn it a little bit. You don't have to. I'm just going to burn it because I don't want it to be all frayed and fuzzy. Right there's how you time it. I mean, now it's done. I mean, the only thing left to do is to take it and test fire it to be sure that we're going to get a perfect clearance. And that's easily accomplished because I happen to have my release here and I've got a shop arrow that I use. And we're going to just put an arrow in there, fire one off into the target over here, and see if it drops. This is what I also like to refer to as smoke testing. I was an electrician for a long time, and that was kind of like my whole thing about smoke testing. If you turn it on to see if it starts smoking, and if it does, you did it wrong. So this is my variation with a bow of smoke testing. It's been a long time since I was an electrician, but smoke testing. Let's fire it into the target and see what happens. This is the first time I've shot this bow. I've had this bow for 2 weeks waiting on all the accessories to get in here, guys. Talk about patience. I've waited 2 weeks to shoot this bow and to set this arrow rest up. Oh, man, and I'm telling you, it was worth the wait. Boom, there she goes. All right, after I first test fire my bow like that to check my timing, I'm going to look for a couple of things. I'm going to look at the arrow rest for marks. It's the best way to find out if you're getting contact. Okay, I'm going to flip it up. I'm going to examine all around this arrow rest. Okay, I don't see anything on it, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's check the arrow. I'll grab it real fast. Okay, we're going to look at the arrow. I don't see any marks on the fletchings. Nothing that wasn't already there, because this is, like I said, this is a shop arrow. This is an arrow that I actually for one of my other bows. And I'm just firing it through the bow because it's actually a stiff spined arrow, so it's not going to hurt anything. Okay, so that's how easy it is to set up this arrow rest. One final thing to do for this arrow rest is to put the moleskin that comes with it on. It comes with a couple of little pieces of moleskin. One of them is already perforated like so. And they're basically going to go on the inside of the rest. The way I like to do it is I like to take it and right in the front of the rest, right in the rest in the groove where the arrow is going to be riding, you just want to fold this in half and stick it down in there like so. You want to smash it over so your arrow's getting some padding right there. Okay, you can see your arrow's going to ride on that moleskin rather than riding on that arrow shaft or the arrow rest itself. Because I can tell you right now about carbon arrows, guys. Those puppies at 300 feet per second, that's over 200 miles an hour. That is like sandpaper, and the more you shoot it, it's going to wear off the coating of this rest. I mean, this has got a rubber coating on it, but it's going to wear it off. And then check to make sure that it falls okay and it looks good. All right. All right, everybody. Well, that's the first installment of our bow setup series. I showed you guys what to look for when you get a brand new bow and just get it out of the box. I showed you how to set up the Recon arrow rest, how to time it, how to tie it in, and I've also showed you some of the cool features like the center shot key that comes with the Winchester Black Horse bow. Okay, again, that's the Recon arrow rest by Archer Extreme. You can check it out on their website. There's a link at the bottom of this video. Same thing for Winchester Archery. There's a link at the bottom of this video. Next time, we're going to be talking about installing the peep sight, the silencers, and the bow sights. Until then, you guys be sure to stay tuned. I'll catch you then.